What's up, y'all? It's your boy, Baby Boy, and today we're gonna be doing episode 5 of the Think Tank podcast, and we're in full-fledged four-man power today. And we got your boy T, Joe, and
Wait,
pretty much a usual your boy Dom. Go ahead and introduce yourself, boys.
was Gucci though?
Hey, what up?
Hey guys.
All right, in today's podcast we're gonna have Joe, since he missed the last one, have his little personal take on the Sheffield regional that just passed. We're gonna talk about splitting in finals, since we had a couple little things happen locally over here. We're gonna talk about teams and Pokemon, whether they're good or not, like Team Think Tank, for example, or Team Break Even, stuff like that, if they're necessary, the importance and all that jazz. And let's just roll right into it and go with Joe on his thoughts on Sheffield.
All right, yeah. So I missed last week, so I guess looking at Sheffield, just really briefly. So top 8, we saw that Gardevoir Sylveon won the tournament, and if I recall correctly, he did it without custom catchers, which is pretty bonkers. Also, looking at his list, he's playing 6 Fairy Charms. It's kind of nuts. I think he's kind of wanted to go into the game and just be like, okay, Pikarom, Mewtwo, I want to beat both the decks. And he goes in with those Fairy Charms. Obviously, it worked out well for him, seeing at what was in the top cut. Looking also, there is a Pidgeotto Control, and that deck's a personal favorite of mine. Glad to see it doing well. But yeah, pretty much cookie cutter, Reshizards all over the place, a Pikarom up there. Yeah, nothing really else to note, I think. But some Malamar in day 2, a good amount of it actually. So yeah, it's pretty well rounded. What did you guys think overall?
Besides the Guardy, I think it was pretty much standard. The amount of Malamar is a little bit surprising, because it seems like that's been getting a lot more and more play lately.
It's been getting a lot more and more played by good players too, which is really interesting, seeing as how everybody was talking about, the decks are dead or the decks falling off.
Yeah, it looks like Stefan Ivanov played it.
Yep,
Yeah, nice.
Well, he played
Mr.
Malamar.
Mr. Two-time
Oh, he did.
NAWC champion.
Did anything come to your eye besides the Guardian, Joe, or just?
I guess there's an airplane up ahead. Hold on.
Yeah, let's just get airplaned real quick.
Look, man, I can't win on either end right now. Got the tow truck on this side, the airplane flying over this
Hey,
side.
we're trying,
Yeah.
boys. We're
We're
trying.
We're trying, stuff happens. Well, I mean, it looks like there was a dark box that made day 2. I mean, I kind of dismissed that deck altogether, but someone
Dark
did
Box
something pretty
loses
well.
to Mew Mew, so I don't know why it's kind of popular.
I mean, it's cool. I mean, Dark's a fun deck. ST
Yeah.
can attest.
Yes, very fun.
I like how there's a Keldeo Bronzong, but not a regular Keldeo.
Keldeo Brunga, Stall. One of my buds made that list. 3 of the guys at Worlds got made day 2 with that. So it's a cool deck. I liked it. That was actually the same list I tested for
Nice.
cups.
So that's pretty much all your thoughts so far.
Yeah, I mean, it seems pretty.
Standard.
Nothing really stands out, really. I mean, I'm glad Guardy won it. That's good.
Mewtwo not making top 8 stood out.
It
That too. I mean,
bubbled.
one bubbled, yeah.
Yeah. R.I.P.
But that deck's fire, man.
Yeah, I think our big takeaways are Guardian probably winning's a shocker. I doubt anyone had that. They probably was on the radar, but winning probably not. Malamar seems to be getting at least more players playing it. Nothing really in top 8, or what was the closest one? 16th it looks like. So they're getting close, but they're not in top 8 quite yet. The usual Reshizards, Blounds, Mewtwo's.
Yeah, I'm just kind of waiting for the next set at this point. The meta seems to be stabilizing pretty well. We have our clear, top 5 decks in the format.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
I think from here on out, it's just kind of see how it continues to develop. But I don't think we'll see that many changes coming up. It didn't look like Hidden Fates affected the tournament much.
nah. Just
Yeah, I
added some
mean,
shinier cards.
yeah, and then the Mewtwo's have that Charizard, but like we talked about in the previous podcasts, but yeah, I didn't see much effect from that set.
Alright, I think that's a good enough time to rotate into probably our main topic, I'd say, of the podcast is. I think before we go into it, might as well talk about these 2 local cups real quick, right? We'll start off with
Yes.
the one not in question, which, both these cups were in Fresno's. One was on the September 15th, one on the 14th, so we're not too far away from this happening. It's still fresh in everybody's mind. We'll start off with
Yeah.
the 15th because the 14th has a follow-up topic to go with it. So in the top 8, we had Greenzard with Hood Lugia,
Yep.
Pikarom, Ability Zard, Greenzard, a Dark Box, Ability Zard, a Mew Mew, and a Mally. So just as we said Mally wasn't making it into these top 8s, we have a Mally squeezing into a local cup over here. So what do you guys think about this? I think this was the second Fresno Cup.
Did you
Yeah.
say Stealthy Hood in Greenzard?
Yep.
Just
Yeah.
Yeah,
after
he
that?
played Lugia too.
So is the hood for stuff like Distortion Door?
Yeah,
It's
I'm
for
assuming.
Distortion Door and for something else. I forgot the.
It's for the Ninetales and Abilities art.
Yeah.
Oh, that's smart. Oh, didn't even think about that.
Ninetales?
Right?
The discard 2 fire energy and gust up one of your bench.
It
That-
stops the gust up?
It does.
Yeah.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, so you could put a big boy Reshizard with 8 energy on it or whatever, 6 energy, and just be like, come at me.
Or just put
Yeah.
something like that's about to die or something. Just put a hood on it or something.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty neat.
Okay.
It's a nice little tech. I don't know how much it came into effect, but
He went 5-1 if that matters. He apparently
Yeah.
I mean, but
lost
that
one.
deck's- I mean he
Yeah.
could have done 5-1 and that card
I-
never showed up in his hand,
Yeah.
I played as Green's dojo list. It was pretty good.
And I'm assuming he lost before top 8, obviously.
Yes, he lost in top 8. He lost before top 8.
That's not bad. Besides the hood, I think it's pretty much, I wouldn't say predictable, but nothing too surprising. I guess the Dark Box cracking in the top 8 is a little shocking, but I think that's just there weren't enough people playing it, so once people start playing it more, it'll have more chances at these top 8s.
Mhm.
But for the most part, without talking too much about the second cup just quite yet.
Oh wait. And Mew Mew won that cup. Just wanted to get that out there.
Oh,
Mew
yeah,
Mew.
that was the top cut, sorry.
Yeah, Mew Mew won that cut. Oh, and that was
Do you know what they faced in the finals?
Greenzard.
Greenside. Okay.
So yeah, wild.
You won. Nice. And then in quick comparison to the other one, just for top 8s, it was pretty different. And I think that's a good enough time as any just to roll into the first one of the week, which had the spice happen. This is
Yeah.
the top 8, not who won necessarily. We'll get to that in just a second. We had Blounds, yo boy, in first. Ability Reshi, Pikarom, Quagnag, Green's Resi Dojo. What the hell is Rampardos?
Bruh, fossil boy.
And Quagnag and another Malamar squeaking in. So before we get to the obvious topic, what the flip is Rampardos?
I don't know. I'm googling that right now.
Oh
I
really?
am confusion.
So Rampardos has the attack. It's a fighting type. Its attack is for 1 fighting energy. It does 60 and then
The Ultra
60.
Prism one?
Yes.
Yeah, 60 more if it's attacking an evolution Pokemon, I believe.
Yep.
And then for 3 fighting energies, I believe it's just knock out a basic.
Yeah, it says for 3 fighting Wild Crash, if your opponent active Pokemon is a basic, they're just knocked out.
Yeah, just that's a nice tag team you got right there. Let me just go in. Boop,
That's the
gone.
Yeah.
first of those abilities where it doesn't say, like, till the next turn or whatever. Because usually those
Oh,
type of attacks will say if it's still there the next turn or something like that. You know what I mean?
So it takes.
nah, he gone.
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say. So it takes 3 energy to power up that attack. Wasn't there a card in Hidden Fates that reduced the attack cost for fighting types?
Yeah, it's that the
Karate belt.
sash. Yeah, karate belt. Because I have 2 secret rares because I'm the best puller ever.
Is it, wait, sorry. Is that Hidden Fates or is that Unified Minds?
No, it's Unify Minds.
Yeah, it reduces 1 fighting cost, so it'd be 2 fighting.
If you're behind, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I
if
like
you're
it. I
behind.
mean, if you're drawing like crazy, I mean, I wonder what the deck list is. I wonder, do you guys think it's like a Jirachi based type engine?
I'm
It
assuming.
would. My assumption is it's like the fossil builds that are going around now, which it's just the only basics you play is Jirachi, and then you play the fossil research lab.
Oh, gotcha.
That way you get out your stage 1 low fossils, and then you can evolve them the next.
Yeah, and this one does say you have to be behind in prize cards, and it lowers it by 1 fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard for me to judge this deck without knowing what the rest. We can only assume. We'll try and hit up this boy, Troy.
I mean, he obviously
deck-
got the list nailed down. If
He only
made
had
top.
1 loss till top 8.
Yeah, that deck is real has like a really decent matchup spread because it also has Caracosta, which is a water type, but it takes fighting energy.
Oh, I just had the biggest brain. It just clicked at what you said. This is a fossil type. I'm a dirt.
Yeah.
So this is pretty much a stage 1 then, right? Because what's fossil do? You just can evolve. How does it work?
You get something that evolves from an unidentified fossil, and you get 2 things that evolve from an unidentified fossil, and you put them onto your bench.
So you would get
It
the
ends your
whatever
turn,
the
though.
previous
And
one
then
of
ends
this
your
is.
turn.
So instead of a
Yeah.
stage 2, this becomes a stage 1.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
disgusting.
I feel like this is. They still need 2 energy at the lowest.
Yeah.
I found a list. There's a 62nd place in Worlds played a deck. So the Pokemon line looks like this. So they play 4 Jirachi, the Rampardos line, so the Cranidos, Rampardos, and then they play Ammonite and an Amistar, so the item lock.
Oh baby.
Plus.
The Tortuga, I guess for Reshizard, maybe.
Yeah.
It only hits 120 though, with weakness. Oh no, it's for the Caracosta. My bad.
Yeah, it's for the Caracosta.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that definitely one shot. There we go. There's the answer. And then an Aerodactyl GX as well.
You're
Jirachi
looking at
engine.
this 60 whatever.
62nd Worlds list. Okay, that looks fun to play. I might build that for fun.
Oh,
I mean, outside of the Jirachis, it looks like a very cheap deck.
I think it's pretty cool because it most these fighting decks or these little decks, they're so banking on the weakness, but this just says it doesn't matter, you're knocked out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like it has a really decent matchup spread. Like
Oh,
hitting
you can abuse the
cards
super
so
boost energy.
Yep.
Ooh, that's spicy. That's spicy. But just to go, now that we've all pretty much, anything else come to like shock before I talk about like, what ended up winning and stuff?
Two Nagquags making top 8. That was like not super expected.
Yeah.
Like 1 maybe, but 2.
Basically two Quagnags didn't brick a whole 5-round tournament. Is that basically the
Right?
shocker?
Yes.
I feel like Nagquag is like a really good play that's a surprise that no one really sees coming.
I wouldn't say it's a surprise. It's just no one's teching for it because it's not being played enough. So no one's gonna
Mhm.
put something to beat it. And
Yeah.
even the decks that it beats, like Reshizard, you can still kill one if they play the Keldeo, which they probably shouldn't.
Hmm.
And like they already have inherent ways around it. So most people aren't putting in. I don't know what you would tech for it or whatever. Maybe a Hoopa, I guess. I'm not sure, but like it's
Yeah.
Lugia GX.
true.
That's the
You're
tech
right.
for it.
And I think Dom, aren't you playing this Green Threshy Dojo? Isn't that what you've been playing?
I played it for a cup, and then I'm not playing it anymore.
So what's you don't think it's good? Is that your opinion?
I feel Dojo isn't really that necessary, but
No.
it's still really cute. But I feel like going a more consistent route is better than going for big knockouts because I feel like I don't find dojos when I need it or stuff like that. So it's kind of hard to get it out and going more consistent, like uh, going like greens for a custom catcher and a power plant or uh, like a giant hearth or something. Which the dojo list didn't play a giant hearth.
What?
Yeah.
So you're like it's too techy for its own good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you don't need the giant hurt though if you're gonna play dojo, because you draw into a lot of your energy, especially playing an energy spinner and a flint. I think you'll be fine.
Okay. And then going on to what ended up placing, we had Malamar beating Blounds. That's to be expected from my personal experience. And then we had Quagnag beating the Green Threshy Dojo. Pretty sure most people would expect that to happen. And then we had Ability Reshi beating the Quagnag, the second Quagnag.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, it said 2 beat 7, so it had Ability Reshi beating the second Quagnag.
Oh.
And
I
then
thought
the
it was
top
2
4 is where it's I don't know who won the other game. I'm not sure what happened in top 4 because I'm looking at the post and I don't see what happened before we. So how would that go? So Quagnag was 4. Uh, I'm, I'm assuming Quagnag beat the Malamar.
Mm-hmm.
No, Ability Rishi would have played that. So Quagnag beat the. I don't know. But anyways, going into the finals, we had Quagnag versus. What was it the Green Reshi, right? Or the Ability Reshi?
Were they both Nagaquags?
No,
Yeah,
one
I
of
was like,
them.
I thought they were both Nag.
No, this one said 2 beat 7, last match of top 8, and top 4 don't know. Finals both got DQ'd.
Oh.
So who did we had? We know who the Quagnag player was. Who was the person they played against?
Ja?
Oh, well, if it was Josh, then I don't know. There was some mistyping here then,
Yeah,
I
that's
guess.
what I thought.
Well, apparently, sorry for the confusion. We're just trying to figure this out on the go because we're just going off of this post mainly. We know what ended up happening, but apparently something else happened. But what ended up happening is there was 2 Quagnags in the finals, 2 friends. Well, renamed neutral, but what ended up happening? These guys unfortunately decided to try and talk about splitting since they're homies or for whatever reason, and they didn't want to play, probably trying to save some time or what have you. And then I'm not sure exactly what they spoke on because I wasn't there, but judge overheard them and decided to DQ them both. And before we go more into it, why don't we have our local judge go over the ruling if you have that for us, Joe?
Yeah, sure thing. So, from what I heard was they were trying to split pricing, and the play matter points or whatever. Um, the ruling I believe that they got on was under in the penalty guidelines. This is all available online, by the way, if you guys want to follow along. It's the 8.64. It's under the cheating subsection. So unsportsmanlike conduct, cheating, can also count as offering some form of compensation to an opponent for a concession. So, hey, I gave you the packs, you gave me the mat, whatever went down. That does go directly against the Pokemon rules. I guess that's where they got him, because it is flat out said in the rules that they can't compensate each other to split a win.
Mhm.
No matter if you're friends or whatever.
Yeah. So I guess on that, what do you guys think about that? Do you guys think people should be allowed to do that?
So when I was asking around about it, I heard a lot of people saying that you should be allowed to. If, both parties agree on it, then it should be allowed. But my personal take, I kind of agree with not letting it happen, but I don't think that they should have been DQ'd. I think they should have just been forced to play it out.
Yeah, I mean, in the actual rules, the recommended penalty is a DQ. So as far as judge ruling is concerned, the correct ruling was given.
Yeah.
So basically, to go straight off the book.
Yeah.
It's
So as far as I'm aware, I've never played Magic, but I've heard like in Magic that prize splitting actually is allowed in finals.
Mm-hmm. In Yu-Gi-Oh as well, we do prize splitting. Not in I want to say like YCSs, because they give out like a trophy and stuff for that. So they have to have a definitive first place. But other than that, everyone else does split pricing.
How does that work? Like, do they just say, "Oh, hey, you get the win," and then it's hounded off, outside the event, or what?
So for Yu-Gi-Oh regionals, top 8 all get the same thing. So it just matters who's in top 8. Everybody gets the same thing. At locals, you split pricing by, like, if we're doing store credit, if we're doing packs, we just even it out and split it between first and second. YCSs are different because YCSs, they give out, laptops or game system, and you get the first place thing. So they want native winner.
And that's okayed by the judge and like Konami or whatever?
And that's okayed by every. Yes.
Okay. And Magic, I'm assuming. Sorry, go ahead, Dom.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I think it should be allowed to be able to split pricing if, like, one person, say, needed the extra 10 points if they won, like, be like, wait, so did they want to split the pricing, like, down the middle, or, like, what did they want to do?
We don't have specifics. Yeah, we don't have specifics, but all we know is they wanted to split pricing. We wouldn't know at that point, like, because it would be somebody having to give the win to somebody.
Yeah, because someone technically still has to win.
Yeah, someone technically still has to win. That means someone would have to get 50 points. Someone would have to get 40 points.
Yeah, because I could see if someone was like, hey, I want let's say the winner gets 2 boxes and the loser gets 1 box. The winner's like, or the person is like, I need these 10 points to get my World's Invite or something, and I'll give you my boxes if you just give me the win. Like, I could see that. I think that's fine. But, like, if they wanted to be like, okay, I get the mat, and then, like, you get half the box, and I get half the box, and then, like, that. I still don't think it should be a DQ, maybe, like, a warning, but I don't know. I'm also not a judge.
I mean, I would equate, points for Worlds as equal in value as a prize to like
Mhm.
boxes and mats.
Yeah.
Although I will point out that the general event rules, say that players may decide to concede or ID for any reason. So if there's no, for example, say we're playing Dom, and you're like, oh man, I'm like so close to my invite, and then I just say, you know what, man, I'm a nice guy here. I'll give you the win. Have fun at Worlds or whatever. That's
Mhm.
allowed. That's a informal agreement. There's nothing. I mean, judges and organized play won't recognize and enforce agreements like that, but
Mhm.
you can do that.
So I have kind of a hot take on this, and just to bounce off of what Joe just said, the reason why that's okay is because basically when you scoop like that, you decided on your own free will,
Correct.
whether with no additional information. And the reason why I'm okay with the DQ, because we'll talk about why I think it was more of an uproar. I think it's more than the DQ that caused an issue. Is what the more of the personal stuff we'll maybe touch on it here in a minute. But the reason why I think it should be DQ is because there's this slippery slope where
Yes.
if
agreed.
you're letting friends do it, right? Okay, whatever. But then this could have like top 16 implications and stuff like that, to where, oh, I beat this guy by 5 points, but some fanboy or Joe Schmo or his friend or whatever decided to scoop to him just so he can pass me, get top 16, and I miss it by a point. There's this slippery slope if you start saying, oh, at this cup I'm allowed to do this, to where it's not worth it to just let it continue to go, because it could cause numerous amount of problems, which is why I'm okay with the DQ. It sucks for both parties, but let's be honest, both of these people knew the chances of that happening, but they decided to talk about it allegedly in front of where a judge could hear you. Anyone who's been playing Pokemon for X amount of years knows at least that this is a gray area where you could get DQ'd. And if you've been playing all day, me personally, I don't care if it's my friend, I'm not gonna chant something like that, like to where I could get DQ'd just because we were talking about it. Because let's say, what if we were just BSing each other, like ha ha ha, like joking? Because I've joked like that before, and luckily I've gotten a little slap on the wrist. But maybe that's because that judge knew me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if we start at, like I said, League Cups and then regionals, and then where does it end, basically? So I'm
Yeah, I
okay
was
with
gonna
the
say.
DQs. It sucks how it happened, but let's not put where the blame is supposed to be. It's on the two players who knew more than the fact that that wasn't okay, and they decided to do it anyway. But if you're gonna do, not to like help people cheat, but if you're gonna do that, you should at least know not to do it right near where a judge can hear you.
Mm.
Yeah. Oh, one more thing I forgot to mention. So, Pokemon considers the prize splitting as an act of bribery. Any type of anything outside the influence that can alter the effect of a match is considered bribery. They want the tournament to be decided without any outside influences. So that's explicitly stated in the general event rules.
Because didn't we have I forgot the pro player's name, but didn't we have one of those guys get banned from like something years ago?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I'm not gonna say any names. I'm sure you could find it on the internet if you were looking. But I guess what had happened in that situation was the specified pro player was going for. I don't know if he was just going for. I don't know if it was necessarily top 16 or if
Let's
he was
just
just
assume
like.
some type of world's implication.
Yeah, it was a world's implication, and basically, I think he offered his tournament winnings to a player, and he accepted it. And I guess through guilt or something, that player came out and started the whole scandal, and it was like, hey, I have guilty conscience. Here's the, here's the PayPal showing the payment. Here's our agreement. Here's the screenshots. Blah blah blah. And I think both players got banned for
Colluding or something.
It was collusion, yes, but like
The pro
I don't know
player
how
got
long
banned for, I don't know if we're allowed to talk about it, but it was longer than a month.
Yeah, but the other guy was a month. But it goes both ways. You know, if you accept a bribe, you know you're equally as guilty.
Yep.
In Pokemon's eyes. Um, so that's what went down.
Yeah, and just to speak for reference, I remember I went to a regional with like my best friend. We were just loosely talking about. I think he was like, "Let's rock paper scissors" or something, and then a judge overheard, and I was like, "You don't want to do that. What did you guys say?" And even that was years ago, so even back then, so it's not like it's some new rule or something.
That's yep.
Yeah.
Random determination. Game cannot be decided by random means.
I was gonna say I also had a situation. I think it was like Anaheim 2017, where me and a friend are playing in the like final round of day one, and we're both like bubbling for points if we tie, and we're in a situation where one of us is going to where we're going to tie, and we look at each other and we're just like, you want to roll for it? And a judge walks by and he's like, what? And we were just
Yeah,
nothing.
that happened to me at San Jose. Almost the exact same thing.
We were just like nothing, and then we ended up playing out the three turns, and then my friend was like, you can.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
I don't
said,
want.
I think it's just a messed up situation, but I think the main thing that messed it up was the fact that I guess we're gonna do it. The fact that they were friends, so I think it was more of a personal thing. Because if you take that out, I think the players in question would have been like, "Damn it, I guess we messed up," you know.
Yeah.
But when you factor in how the people involved, I guess I could at least say the judge, I guess,
Yeah.
was in some. They were close friends with one or both of the players who got DQ'd. A little bit of personal feelings got involved, and that's when it got amplified. Because that's when I first heard about it. Because I didn't even know. I heard it more of that, where it was like, "Can you believe so and so DQ'd his friend?" That's how I first
I'm
heard about it.
Oh,
I mean, I guess
I
that's
was
how you
just
know
like,
he's a good judge.
yeah,
Stick to the rules, no bias.
yeah, no bias
And I
whatsoever.
Yeah,
forgot
keep
where I mentioned it. Like, if you're gonna just do that, like right in front of, you're basically saying,
You're
"You're my
asking for it.
friend, you won't."
Yeah.
Yeah, you said that to me.
Yeah, I was like, if when I was judging, I told my friends personally, I was like, if anything, I might have to judge you guys a little harder.
Yeah.
If anything, not that that's fair or anything, because yeah, I even told my locals, I was like, yo, I shouldn't do this, but I might have to, just to prove a point to where, like, when you come to our tournaments, there is no bias. There's no, hey, this guy comes to our shop every week, you come for league cups. Like, there's no. I want you to feel like you have a fair shake at whatever judge ruling that we do. And I
And that's
think,
how it should be.
and I think, unfortunately, it just ended up not falling the way that the guy wanted to, because I'm banking, or at least I'm thinking that he was like, "Oh, my friend won't do that to me, or at least give me like a little slide," you know.
Yeah.
And then another key thing about this is I think the friend gave him the benefit of the doubt, because I think we mentioned it that they called two other judges
Yeah,
to get
they
a
called
ruling.
two other judges.
So
Yeah,
if
they wanted to confirm the result there.
yeah, he might have, not to put words in his mouth or what happened, he might have just said, "Hey, I'm too close to this. Let's have someone else do it." You know, I'm not sure if that's what happened. He probably just said, "Hey, I'm not sure what to do here. What do you think I should do?" But let's just speak like devil's advocate for a second. Maybe he just wanted to take himself completely out of the situation and say, "Hey,
100%.
hey, we're too close to friends. I'm not trying to be biased in any way. Can so and so, can you do this for me?" You know. And
Yeah.
if he did that, what more do you want the guy to do? Like,
True.
it sucks, but he's still a judge at the end of the day, you know.
Yeah.
Like, what would you do? What would you do? Would you do anything different in that situation, Joe?
I don't think so. I
Like
think
if it was one of us or something?
so. If it was like, I don't know, T or Dom playing, and I overheard something like that, being part of the code of conduct, I have to report that. I can't turn a blind eye. It's hard, not gonna lie. You want your friends to do well, But end of the day, you're a judge. You got to make the correct ruling. You got to be unbiased. Everyone has a fair opportunity. You have to handle it appropriately, and that's one of the things about being a judge is you have to work to be unbiased and fair.
Yeah, and
So,
I think we can
yeah.
mutually all agree that, at least from what we know, not saying we know everything that went down 100%, that I think it was pretty much unbiased decision and most likely the correct decision.
Yeah.
I would agree with that, with the decision that was made.
Yeah. It sucks that it happened, but yes.
Do you, T or Dom, do you guys have anything to add?
No, not really.
Nope.
Because, like I said, I think it was more of the personal stuff. Because if you just focus on just what actually happened, it's a pretty just simple decision.
But we can talk about how everyone from, I think it's like third and fourth, move up.
That was
yeah.
interesting. Do you know anything about that, Joe? How that works?
So I think what happened was I'm friends with one of the guys who he got 10th place, I think, and he got bumped to top 8. So I guess what happened was, since they DQ'd, they just shifted the whole pairings or the whole rankings up. So third place got the win, got the points, got the mat, and then I'm not sure how that worked with prizing because most of the players have left. Given how late it is and they didn't make cut. But yeah, they got points.
So I'm assuming at that point, like between third and fourth, it was just on resistance.
I believe so. And I mean the fifth or eighth is already on resistance, so then they would just ship them up.
It's probably the whole thing. That's
yeah.
Hey, for that 9th and 10th place, what was it? Torrid who did that on the regional one time, I think. For that guy who got DQ'd in the finals.
Yep.
He ended up getting some like money and everything off of that. That was
easy.
Hey, if you're 9th and 10th place, it's a messed up situation, but hey, you got them points, boy. You got them points. Well, that was a interesting. Have you guys ever been in something remotely, something like that? I think we talked about it briefly, but maybe even as a judge perspective, have you ever had a ruling like that, Joe? Something that crucial or anything like that?
No, I have not actually. And I'm always open to I want to get these rulings. I'm not saying I'm wishing people did it, but I want to be involved in all as much as I can to keep learning and growing as a player and then to judge. But whenever people talk about this on the professor pages and stuff, so it happens, but it's not super common.
Okay. I will say this: I forgot which episode that we talked about it. Where how we were asking, or at least I think I was, of judges to be more consistent, to be better, etc., etc.
I think that was the first one.
It might have been. It was one of the earlier ones. But if this doesn't prove that, at least in our local area, because it's all we can really speak of, because it's what we're seeing, that we're not trying to do our best and cracking down, and because to be honest, I think this is the most. I hate to say it, now it's a good thing. The most DQs I've seen in a whole season. And we just getting started here.
True.
Yeah, but I think we're overall in California. I think we're very fortunate. We have some of the best judges, I think, in our area.
Turns out, as soon as I stopped judging, everyone started doing good.
Dude, you're lowering the average, dude.
I know, man. I guess I was like the weakest link. I left, and everyone stepped up.
No, all jokes aside, we have some really, really good judges in the Central Valley. Very nice working with them. They've been good mentors to me.
Yeah, because I remember when I was judging, when I was heavily into judging, the main problem that we had locally, which I'm sure other areas have, is we'd have overlapping tournaments. That was the main problem that we had, where this person would be like, I don't care, I want it on Saturday. What? But I'm on that Saturday. And the only persons who would lose out on that, besides the stores money-wise, was the players. So when I first started, we got a little thing together where we would get all the judges together in the area, and then we would at least fix that. And we got that under order, and it seems like about a year or two into this, I think it is now. I forgot how long I've been a judge. But it seems like we started from that first little step, at least locally, to where these judge rulings are like Joe said, the quality of judges we have, at least from where we can speak locally, has just been upgraded tremendously, and I'm kind of proud, to be honest. I can honestly say when I go to a cup in our local area, I can pretty much guarantee I'm at least gonna get some decent, unbiased rulings
Yeah,
Yeah.
and consistent, which is the main thing.
that's true.
Agreed.
And I think that's a good enough as we roll into our not so serious topic, but a little bit of a fun one, an interesting one. I believe it was last year's Internats or whatever they changed it to was the first one that where they started doing like the team tables or whatever. Was it Internats?
No, I think that was one of the regionals.
You guys remember when they
Where
had like their own little tables or whatever and stuff?
yeah,
They had like
teams could
DDG and
teams can sign up for VIP and they could all sit together. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, that was at Santa Clara this past year. They had that.
and I think there was like one before that too, which was like the first
Yeah.
one.
I actually played on those tables. Round one, I got paired versus Azul, and I got my behind bodied.
Was that when they were doing the Zoro control?
No, it was the shit. He was there. DDG was
They're
playing the
all-
Shedinja control,
Oh god.
and I had just cut. What did I cut? I cut something out of my green Zard list. I cut Field Blower. I cut it
Oh,
the night, the
dude.
night before the
Oh,
tournament,
yeah.
and like I would get like 4 prizes, and then I'm out of custom catchers. I'm out of Guzmas, and I can't clinch the game. Anyways, side topic. That was just
Yeah.
a fun point.
Just really quickly to bounce off of that, before that tournament, I told my whole room, play double field blower. I couldn't give them a good enough reason, but for some reason my brain was saying, hey, play double field blower. Turns out I was right. But the main reason why I bring it up is teams look to be becoming more and more popular. Like, they're popping up a lot more. I remember the first time I remember ever seeing teams in Pokemon, it was I think it was Worlds or something, where they did that like Hover Cat's little chant thing.
Oh my goodness,
You guys
Team
remember
Hover.
that?
That's
Hover
so
cat. No, I
old.
wasn't around at the time.
T, you know what I'm
That
talking about, where they did this like big little circle and they did like this
yes,
like football chant thing, where they like just kept bouncing up and down, and
that's
Cringe.
so old.
it was pretty.
Oh my
It was
goodness.
cringy, but to me, my
That's
little
pretty
nerd
cringy.
heart was like, "Yo, that's dope." It was like 20 or 30 dudes just all like locked in arms, like you're doing a huddle, just bouncing. So that was the
Hover
first time I ever seen. I think they were called the Hover
Get-
Cats.
Getting pumped
Yep.
to play some children's cards
One,
games.
one of them had just won Worlds or something. I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
And then they did like this celebratory like 30-person like huddle dance thing. It was kind of like the haka, if you know the Polynesian dance,
Yeah.
but like the
Yeah.
nerd version.
Well, more power to them. You know, they're a bunch of friends and having
Yeah,
fun.
so that was the first time I saw teams, and ever since then, I'm gonna be honest. As much as I want to be biased, I think DDG kind of just shot putted teams into another dimension to where like they're a thing now. They're not just some your local players or team whatever your store is.
hmm
So what do you guys think about that?
So I know ARG. What was it? ARG and someone's PC had a team prior to like DDG going full force with recruiting people and starting their team.
Sniping every good
But-
player, you mean?
Exactly that. But ARG had like Raul, Jose Marrero, I think that's his name.
Kyle.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle. Yeah. And then, someone's PC with Russell and all of them.
Yeah, then you had Tord with like 8-bit.
Yeah, Tord had a team for a little bit, but then, he became, 3-time international champion, and he's just like, all right, I don't have a team anymore, but
I think
I am
he's-
the team.
I think he's still in 8-bit because I'm looking on Limitless and it says 8-bit, but it's more of like a, hey, I'm with this team, but I'm repping this team type deal. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, and then Limitless popping off after Robin's World win was another thing. But yeah, teams have started like spiking in popularity just to see who's the best team after DDG with their, I want to say it was what, 13 out of 16 wins.
It wasn't wins. They were in finals. They won like 5 or 7 of them, I think.
Yeah,
Wrong.
they were bodying
They were
regionals.
always in the finals. I think they were in the finals of every regional except like 2.
I was like, hold on, no, because Jimmy had 3 wins by himself, and then
Danny had 2, I think.
yeah, Danny had 2, and Caleb had 3.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I was like, I want to say it was like 13, and then Isaiah won the internet.
I know towards the end of the year, like, I don't know if they were still entering or not, but they weren't like. Well, I think it was they wanted to go for how long could they do it, you know? And then
Yeah,
once
Also-
they had
That's
that,
why it was 13 out of 16 events that they won though, and that's an unheard of streak for Pokemon team.
that's an unheard of. I think for, I can't speak on this too much, but is that unheard of for any card game? I don't know if you could speak on Yu-Gi-Oh. How big teams are in Yu-Gi-Oh.
Teams are a huge thing in Yu-Gi-Oh. But that's also unheard of. ARG had their own, Yu-Gi-Oh team, but like ARG also ran their own events, and a lot of their players would top and or win those events. So outside of that, and like YCS's ARG team wouldn't necessarily always dominate like DDG. So that's still definitely unheard of for any card game, to my knowledge.
Yeah, then we had teams like I don't know if it's still a thing, but Sacker Scoop.
I think there's still a thing. That's
Didn't
they're-
that one guy off the Pawn Stars make
Yep.
that?
Yep.
He was super
Oh,
into
What was his
Chumley,
name?
right? Chumley?
Yeah.
Tubbs or
Chumley. He was super into it for a
Yeah.
minute, and I don't know if he just stopped being into it, or they're just kind of low key, or what happened. But
Yeah,
I wanna say-
well, they're still around. They're one of the guys got top 4 at Portland, right? Last year, Archie.
Yes.
Also,
Yeah.
I've seen them around SoCal. So
I always
I'm
see
I'm assuming they're based out of SoCal and Nevada.
I always
well, I
see
know
that.
Chumley's from like Las Vegas.
Yeah.
I always see that tall guy who's always the Chumley, because I know he's with that team. And just to put it in perspective, for anyone who knows other competitive games, complexity is now in Pokemon. If that doesn't
Yeah.
tell you that Pokemon is at least on people's radars now, then I don't know what to tell you. Complexity is a big. What are they? I think they're in Counter-Strike. I know they're in Call of Duty. Are
Yeah,
they
it's
in anything
esports.
else?
No.
No, I think that's it. But yeah, Complexity is in.
That's
Complexity
a
has it.
huge like competitive gaming company who
I
decided
was like,
to
Complexity also has a Yu-Gi-Oh team, I believe.
do they? Maybe they're trying
Yeah.
to jump on this like, hey, we're going to be first. And these are sponsors that Complexity has. If you don't know anything about them, just to get the like aura of how big this company is. They're sponsored by GameStop, MSI, Miller Lite for whatever reason, HyperX, Twitch, so they got some big boys, you know. Like this is not some generic. So they have Counter-Strike, FIFA, Clash Royale, which Rocket League, Fortnite, Apex, Madden, Magic, Hearthstone, and a stream team. It doesn't even say Pokemon on here. That's a slap in the face right there. But they definitely have a Pokemon game. But on their
Yeah.
website, for whatever reason, they don't get a tab. So, hey, Complexity, step your game up, dog. But the reason why I bring that up is more and more companies are starting to come. And maybe this is a sign for the growth of the industry. We saw once they started adding money into it, we got bigger and bigger regionals. And, like, I don't know if you could remember, T, the 200 people regionals we used to have in Cali.
Yep.
And now we're like, this is going to have at least 450 on average.
450. We're talking about 700.
I
It's,
just, I'm just saying, like, what you know is going to be there every time, no matter
Yeah.
what. 700, you say that's every Cali regional is going to have that.
Yeah.
Now that they have better locations, probably.
It's been getting pretty wild.
So, what do you have any opinion on teams and stuff, Dom? Have you joined a team, been in a team?
I haven't. Well, I haven't really joined a team or been. I'd like to be on a team, so that'd be cool. But
Team breaking.
teams are pretty important in my opinion, as in like a testing group and like nights before regionals, you get a test and stuff, and I just feel like building bonds with like certain people are like really kind of important, I guess you could say. And having a bond with like 4, 5, 6 guys or girls can be really crucial, so you guys can get to like know each other better and like talk, like I think about last podcast or something like that, we were talking about the open hand method.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like you could do that with testing and stuff with them, and teams are just a big deal in my opinion.
I think they're dope because the best part about it is, let's say I O2 drop and I'm like, damn, I suck. But then T's over here like 4-0. I can live through T's undefeated streak and be like, yes, the team is winning. I'm not, but the team is. So you can still have fun even at tournaments where you lose and where you're just struggling, and and I think that's pretty good. And hey, technically we have a team, right? Break even, dog.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah,
Yeah,
team breaking.
technically we're a team.
Yeah.
Technically,
Technically.
we're all working together for a good goal. Bringing quality content to the people.
And just to speak it more, I think we touched on these a little bit. How important do you think teams are, you guys? Do you think? I think I briefly said it. Like, I think it's just bigger and better things to come. But what about you guys?
I think it's good. Personally, with all these teams around, they're brainstorming, they're coming up with ideas, they're offering content, and I think in general it's just good for the game. It makes things more competitive, which personally I like. Pokemon's a fun game, but competitiveness in a competitive game is great, and being that teams are starting to come on, as you guys are saying, complexity and the growth of teams like DDG, powerhousing regionals. I think it's good for the game. It's good to have that competitive area.
I think it also brings up the skill level. Because I forgot.
That too.
I think I seen Russell talk about it, to where like nowadays the average player is better than what it used to be. So
I
you
was
gotta
just
be
about to
that
mention
much
that.
better than you used to have to be.
Yeah, with the rise of teams, it's brought about, in my opinion, better testing sessions between players, which ups the skill cap that you need to have when going into an event. And I just feel like for any competitive game, that is 100% necessary to always be trying to raise the bar, and having people with that same goal in mind as a team, just phenomenal.
I also think it brings more fun because, like, how many people, when DDG was on that streak, how many people wanted to be the one that stopped it? Like, there was people
Everyone.
placing bets. There was like, even I was like, bro, I want to beat him. Like,
Oh yeah, we were placing bets. We had I can't name names yet, but we had someone ready to form a team so they could take down DDG. It
Oh
was
snap!
Yeah, it was wild,
It just like,
and
and I think
it's
Pokemon
nice
needed that
seeing.
because let's be honest, we talked about it in the last podcast. I think it was where people were taking it too serious. So we can keep
Mhm.
adding this fun to the game, which is what Pokemon started for most of us. Like for me, I started playing Pokemon to meet people in an area that I didn't know anyone, and it was something that I knew of as a kid, and I was like, hey, this looks like fun. So like the more fun we could continue to add into Pokemon, and it seems like at least for those few tournaments that Pokemon was back in it, I think it's a good thing.
Yeah. And I think that might end up being more of a thing since it went over so well.
Yeah, I think they
The
sold out on team badges or whatever, right?
Yeah, it was like the whole team VIP thing. I think that might be more of a thing since it went over so well.
That'd be dope.
Mm.
I know in
Yeah.
And
stuff like Dragon Ball, they have teams, but then they go a little bit further to where they'll have like these bounties, like where you kill them. I'm not exactly sure how it works, but I think you get like a tournament pack or something like that.
mhm.
So
So, sorry to interrupt, but just quick question. So, with those team was it the team seating or whatever at regionals, do you ever play someone who has a reserved seat at those tables?
I'm sure it happens, and what you do is,
Yeah.
I guess they go by whoever's the highest VIP or something like
Yeah,
that. I'm not sure how
they
that
go by
works.
whoever is the higher number.
Like
Okay.
if you're VIP one, you get priority over VIP two.
All right, just making sure that your whole team can't just buy that seating and not play each other.
Yeah. Oh, try to finesse the tournament.
Right?
I mean, I'm sure in the computer it subconsciously like probably avoids it slightly, but if you're both undefeated, I'm sure you'll play each other.
Yeah. So while we're on the team idea, so what do you guys think about in like terms of like paywall stuff, like pay for content?
Ooh. Um, I really want to start this off because I think I had this conversation with someone in our other group chat.
Oh, I know who it is.
Yeah. So I had this conversation with someone in our other group chat, and that is just we were comparing Yu-Gi-Oh to Pokemon, like our transition from Yu-Gi-Oh to Pokemon, and how Yu-Gi-Oh used to do articles, but Yu-Gi-Oh mainly does video content, like we're doing now on the Break Even channel. But like there was a lot of content for Yu-Gi-Oh. You could go online, type in, all right, I want to look at this deck list. I want to learn like this matchup with this deck versus this deck, and you can find all of that online in a video. Or ARG Alter Reality Games used to do articles, and you wouldn't have to pay for those. You could just find those and find that all out. Whereas Pokemon, everything is behind a paywall. And though I understand players wanting compensation for like their ideas, and for being able to give this content, but I feel like providing content for the community is just better if you do it. I don't want to say. How do I want to phrase it? I don't want to say, because I don't think paywalls are necessary. Like, I feel like it's more rewarding just providing the content, because we know doing videos, you can get paid doing videos. People sponsor YouTube channels all the time. And I think it'd just be better if we had more video content rather than, articles that, people have to pay for to read. I do, however, like the thing that I want to say it's six prizes. It's six prizes where you can, instead of buying like a full subscription, you can pay like $1 to read the article that they post. I like that so much more than, no, you have to subscribe and pay $15 to this whole website and have access to it for a month just to read one article, or you can go to the one article, pay $1. I like that more.
That's interesting. I didn't know they
Yeah.
had the like. Oh, I want this. The
So
way that I see it is, to be honest, I'm kind of on the fence because if I'm three-time world champion, I feel like my articles are worth people paying for. You know what I mean? And like people like just for. I'm gonna bring up Cutter Cap just because it's the first one that comes to mind. For like if I'm someone like Finn, who's the owner or whatever his title is.
Yeah.
If I'm testing as much as that guy does, and if I'm doing the analysis, the deck checks, the games, all of that,
Yeah.
that's worth something. Does it?
Yeah.
Maybe I kind of agree what you're saying. Where like, because I don't want to pay for something I'm reading. You know what I mean? Like an article, just kind of. But at the same time, it's like these guys are actually putting in work. There was a time where some of these people, where everybody and their mom had a pay site, and like this guy won one regional, so apparently that he deserves to do an article.
Mm-hmm.
But now it seems like the quality has gotten up there, so it's not really the same. I think these guys deserve to be paid for it. Cause let's be honest, that it's worth it, and not everybody's gonna buy it, and that's not for everybody. To where if it was free, they're giving out their free stuff for all the hard work that they did, and what are they getting out of it? A couple taps on the back, a couple handshakes, and no one really has time to do YouTube and stuff like that. Like you're saying, doing other options. I think the pay site is okay, but I will say a lot of these people's prices are kind of ridiculous, and I get why they're so high because they got this huge overheads to where like they'll have to I want someone to clip my article, I need to get this world champion to write for me or this so and so they gotta pay these guys and whatever they pay these guys, so they gotta clear that overhead, which is what costs those subscriptions to be so high. If your thing costs more than Netflix, you're not giving me the same amount of value that I'm getting from Netflix. And there's a lot of these sites who charge more than that. I feel like it should be $5, to be honest with you. That sucks, especially for these newer sites. But, like, at the end of the day, what are you really giving me? Like, just to play devil's advocate, what are you really giving me that I couldn't learn myself? You're just fast-tracking me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm paying for. It's hard to pick, but that's basically what I would say. It's just, if I was that person, I'd want to get paid, and I feel like I deserve to get paid. But since I'm not that person, I'm like, dude, you're overpricing your stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I'm. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, and it's not like I've never like paid for a subscription for like an article site, because I've definitely had a Cutter Tap subscription. I've definitely had a Six Prizes subscription when I first got into the game. But like, it just gets to a point where sometimes it feels like that's just not for you, or you're no longer liking the quality that they're putting out. So
yeah, most of these sites are giving you garbage.
Yeah, and sometimes it just feels like, what are you paying for?
Like, they're giving you cookie cutter lists that you could have just farted out. Like, oh my god, it's Green Zard, but I put this one card in it.
No, I'm not going to say that about Cutter Top whatsoever. Because
no, I'm not saying about any particular site. I'm just saying in general.
I know, but I'm saying, because since I agreed with your statement, I was saying, like, I'm not going to say that about Cutter Tap, because there was a whole other reason my subscription ended with that, and that's because my account info was being retarded. But other than that, like, it's just like with article sites, sometimes you get to a point where it's like, what am I paying for?
Yeah.
Debatable.
And for a while there, they weren't even like, you weren't even getting a lot of articles, whether they were trash or not. I can't remember if it was Six Prizes or the other one. I forgot what the other one's called, the other major one.
Someone's PC?
No, there was one other one.
Pokebee?
Six Prizes?
There was
Pokebee.
The two main, there was Six Prizes
Pokebee?
and one other one.
Pokebee.
Is it Pokebee? I don't know.
Those are like the only
like,
four.
there was like none. Like, you could look and be like, oh, there was one within the last week. Oh, I'm paying $15 for this?
One within the last month, I remember that
like,
time.
What is that? Like, you're telling me I'm paying $15 for this Eviltall list I could have threw together myself?
And then I did throw together myself?
Yeah, like, I think it's another thing, like how we're talking about judges, where steadily these things are getting better. But right now, because T talked about how he paid for it. I don't know about the other two guys, but I've never paid for one. There have been times where I've been very close to it, but it would have been like, the only time I've ever wanted to buy one was like right before a regional, where I just wanted to be as prepared as possible.
Mhm.
But go ahead,
Yeah,
Joe.
And
I
then
think you had something.
Yeah, I've been.
Yeah.
I'm pretty much in agreement with the two of you. I've been in a similar situation. I have subscribed to several of those articles, um, especially more when I was a little more competitive to give, not necessarily give myself an edge, but better prepare myself. And my experience with them is, I first off want to say that I think anyone has a right to make these, and
Yeah.
they can if they want to charge for their content that they put a lot of time into doing, they're more than welcome to. It's not necessarily like I go on the Facebook pages and I see people complaining, man, another paywall, I want to see this list, another paywall, and it's just like, to some degree, suck it up. If people
Yeah.
want to charge for it, they can, and if you really want to see it, you can pay for it.
Yeah.
Or wait until they play in the tournament and get their list or whatever have you. But my experience is a lot. Some of the, not going to name websites. Some of the websites are better than others. I think collectively I've subscribed to most, not at the same time, but like off and on. Like subscribe for a month, check out their stuff, do the next one.
Yeah.
Some of them are trying to just almost vomit out as much content as possible, and I feel that the quality degrades somewhat. And also, one thing I didn't like about a couple of the sites is there's some I don't want to say misleading, but
Mhm.
there's some aspect like that where like a player will be like, if I was going to this event, I would be playing this
baiting you.
deck.
It's
Yeah,
like
it's like
YouTube.
baiting. I'd be playing this deck. I think this deck's the thing, and then the next event they play something completely different and get second place.
You're like, what was the
Yeah.
meme where Zach was like, Blounds is dead, and then he played Blounds and got like
And won.
first or something?
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
wasn't
and then
referencing that one, but that's an example.
But
But then again, you also have these sites that again, not gonna say names, but these guys put in a ton of stuff, a ton of work into it, and they actually play the lists at tournaments that they write.
Yeah.
Some of them are in our local area. Won't say their names.
Yeah.
But there is a quality difference, and it shows. It shows when they're obviously putting a lot of time into it versus kind of just throwing together content to get out an article.
Yeah, you
And
want your value at the end of the day, and then like Joe and I think T and me were saying, like some of these sites just don't deserve whatever their fee is.
Dom,
Yes.
thoughts?
Well, I mean, I think subscribing to at least one, what do I call it? A site, I guess,
Mhm.
would be good if you like need the help. But I find coaching is just about as good as subscribing to sites and stuff. Even
That's a very
even
good
if
point.
more helpful, because one, with coaching, you get help on decks, and I know most of coaches will give you deck lists, like, say, from their site.
Mhm.
And I know that they also help you with real in-game situations that you might not get out of articles or may not understand out of articles / videos. So, but I guess it's all personal preference, I guess. So, coaching may be a little bit more expensive if you want to do it like upwards to 4 or 5 times a month. But
Mhm.
I still think it's worth it, but
Also depends on the coach,
Yeah.
yeah.
and I think
You know, go ahead.
what the point he was trying to get to is, uh, the articles are more of basically like if you have an idea, the article will help you like solidify that, or you'll like, oh, this had one card that I didn't have. I'll bounce off of it. And the coaching's more of a hands-on where they'll take you step by step and just, for lack of another word, coach you up.
Mhm.
And if I was gonna pay for something, I'm glad Dom brought that up because I believe you receive coaching currently now, don't you?
Yeah.
It's doing you pretty good. I mean, you almost got your
What are you,
invite.
fish now?
No, he bombed other league coach.
So he's sixth,
Um,
seventh, whatever the thing. I think coaching, like Dom said, it depends on the person. Me
Wait,
personally,
can you repeat what you just said? I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
well, I said coaching, like you're receiving coaching right now, right?
Yeah.
And you would say, I'm assuming due to the results, the coaching has drastically like helped you.
Yeah.
Did you ever used to read articles before or no?
I've never subscribed to a site, but I would always read the free ones or like try to get feedback from people, stuff like that.
Yeah, and I think I'm not sure what and I don't want to go into people's like prices because I'm sure that's kind of like secretive or not secretive, but hush hush.
It's
But
personal, yeah.
but I'm assuming just generally that coaching's more expensive. Like just for argument's sake, let's say, like we said, a website for articles is $15, and
Mhm.
coaching is probably what at least double that. And I'm thinking it's like per hour. I'm assuming.
Yeah.
So most people would be playing, not to confirm or deny anyone's pricing, but for argument's sake, let's say you're probably paying like, depending on the coach, probably like 30 to 40 an hour. But that hour, you're probably getting a lot of knowledge. Like I said earlier, if you want to get the bang for your buck, right? And if you're getting a good quality coach, that $30 or $40 an hour is probably worth it.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's helped me. I've got 350 points right now.
She's flexing on us. What
I was
about
gonna
what
say,
about you? I guess we'll start with Joe. Have you ever considered coaching or anything like that? I know you said you tried a couple sites. Did you try coaching?
Um, I did think about it at one point when I was going for my invite last year or last season. But unfortunately, I never followed through. I got pretty busy with work and my personal life, so I wasn't able to follow up on that. But I have thought about it, and there are a lot of good people out there that can offer a lot of good insight to the game.
Finn.
What about you, T? Have you ever thought about it?
um, this is gonna be funny, but
Mr.
I
Coach.
have I have had a coach, so
Oh snap!
um, I think it was for like my first year playing. Like
Okay,
I want to say it was only for I think it was only like 1 or 2 sessions,
okay.
but I did get coaching for a little bit during my days playing fighting bat. Um, but other than that, I haven't really done any more coaching. I have thought about it a little bit recently since I am going to Dallas, which is pretty much home for me. I kind of want to do well. Um, I was kind of on the cusp of getting points, but too many ties means you don't get points. And I kind of just want to follow through with getting points at Dallas just because, I'm home. I want to have a good time with my family. And then I also,
I have a completely like totally prideful and selfish reason why I've never gotten coaching. Is because not to name names, you'll always see I coached this person and he got top 8 or whatever. I don't
yeah.
want no one to claim my success. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Mm,
I'm a
That was,
super prideful, stubborn man, and if
I
I
was like,
go
that was,
from T knows not to say that I'm the best player in the world, but I'm probably better than what my results have been showing. So let's just say like, because I'm Mr. Top 9, I always bubble. So let's just say I go to a coach and all of a sudden I stop bubbling. They're not going to look at the fact that, oh, I got in like 29th places. They're going to look, no, I got him the top 8. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And maybe I did need that coach thing just to get me over the edge, but my pride and stubbornness is not going to allow me to do coaching, even though it probably would help me. I don't. I think the coaches that I would look at, like, I'm just gonna name drop a little bit because why not? Cutter Tap or something like that. Like I would do my research before I did it, and I
Yeah.
think they would be worth it. But at the same time, whether I'm right or wrong, I value my skill a little bit probably too high, and
Hmm.
also my pride would get in the way. I'm just gonna keep it
Um.
100. Like I'm not
Oh,
trying to
and
have no one claim my success.
on my thing, I did not. I'm gonna state this now. I did not pay for the coaching because it was before they started doing payments for
Okay,
coaching. They just
you were like the trial run.
yeah.
Okay.
So
And also, I don't know. I think I could coach people, to be honest. Not that I'm really good, but you know how that saying is where you're better at giving advice than taking advice. You know,
100%.
so
Ask Dom.
I'm sure I could teach someone how to do really good, but take my own advice, that's another thing. But I think that will be it for today's episode. We had a pretty lengthy 3-topic 20-minute podcast. But I think we touched on some good things. I think we're getting a little bit better. We're a little bit more in depth here. And like I said, I didn't check the last video recently because I've been kind of busy. But I hope you guys have been trying to comment this time. The feedback is more than welcome to us personally. But those comments on the videos, those likes, those any of those interactions will get us to maybe it'll get us to branch out outside of our local scene and we can maybe start doing some bigger and better things. Maybe add a video at one point or something like
Hmm.
that. And T, do you want to announce what you just took care of recently? With
Oh, so we have. I want to say it's like another week and a half till we find out if we're approved, but we are going to start uploading the Think Tank podcast on the giant list, but it's like
the usual
iTunes,
Spotify stuff like
Google
that.
Music, Spotify, yeah, all that. So
And that's thanks
we're
to you
doing
guys for
big
showing
things.
us love, giving us feedback. And like I said, we're gonna keep getting better. Where audio is gonna get better, topics are gonna get better. As we get more comfortable with each other, the flow will get better and will be more entertaining. So I want to personally thank you guys on behalf of the Think Tank podcast members for giving us this love and continue to give us this love. And on
Yeah.
that note, you guys have anything to say before we close it off? T, Dom,
Yeah.
Joe.
Um, I want to say thank you to everybody for the feedback. I've gotten feedback at locals, and it's just so nice to hear, you know, everybody wishing us well and, giving ideas, giving feedback, saying that they like the topics, saying that the quality is good and to keep it up. I just really appreciate those things.
Where else can you
Yeah,
get a top 10 senior in the podcast who apparently eats nothing but Uncrustables?
Top
Right?
16.
How the hell did you drop the top 16? Never
'Cause
He
mind.
that's-
bombed that cup.
Never mind. Only in seniors could you be top 5 one week and then top 16 the next.
It's not my fault I suck.
Hey, if you suck, what am I?
I know.
yeah, we're worse, man.
Yeah, what about you, Joe? Any last thoughts?
I just want to say thanks to everybody who listens and for the feedback as well. Heard some things from people, heard good things. We are improving on your feedback. So I just want to say thanks to everyone listening, and as always, if you have any comments, put them down in the comments.
Yeah, please do. And like I said, you're more than welcome to keep messaging us personally or telling us at our locals. But those comments will help out a lot, and they'll help us proceed in a bigger and better way. Also, if you guys want to join, we're more than welcome, to let you join. We'd love various other people's opinions on topics and stuff. And
Yeah.
I'm sure I speak for everyone where we don't mind any shape, color, masters, juniors, whatever. And with that, this will wrap up. I believe it's episode 5 before I butcher it. This
Yep.
has been your boy, and we out here. Come check us out. See you guys next week. Peace.
Deuces.
Later.
Yeah.
Alright guys, thanks for watching. Remember to like the video, leave a comment of what you want to see next, and subscribe. T here from the Break Even TCG channel, signing out.